I am Surhuda.
Let us look at how modals, conjunctions, verbs change during direct and indirect speech. Have you ever heard these words? Do we ever use them? Do we say can, could? Say for instance, do we say, can you please join me for a movie? Or have you ever said something like, could you please join me for a movie? May I have your number please? I must go to school today. I have to watch that movie, it's awesome. And I will go to school today, it's important. Now, these are very common words that we use on a daily basis. Well, we also use words like this, which becomes that. For instance, this is a chair, that is a table. We also say these are chairs, those are tables. So we definitely use all these words on a daily basis. Well, words like can, could, may, might, will, would, should, shall, all those are called as modals. They tell us about different possibilities. For instance, if I say, can I come with you? Now that is, I'm just asking for a possibility. Can I join you for a movie? Or if I say, I must pay my taxes. Now I'm putting a condition there. I have to pay my taxes. We use modals in all kinds of speech when we are speaking, writing, everything. Let us look at this very interesting dialogue. Do we know this person? The character. Of course we all know this person, this character. And he says, Are yo Samba, kitne aadmi the? Now, if I have to transform this Are yo Samba, kitne aadmi the to indirect, and if I have to transform it to a question answer thing, what will it be like? I can say, what did Gabbar Singh ask Samba? And the replies, Gabbar Singh said, Are yo Samba, kitne aadmi the? The first one was a reply in direct. However, now I am going to say the same sentence in indirect. Gabbar Singh asked Samba, how many people were there? Of course, indirect speech is flat because there is no dialogue there. Well, let us look at some tenses and what happens to them while we are using direct and while we are using indirect. I like ice cream. Direct speech. I am talking about I like ice cream. And now someone is saying that so that I will become he. He said that he liked ice cream. Remember, we have translated it to past tense. Let's go ahead. Now someone is saying, I am living in Paris. It could also have been I live in Paris. That's also fine. He said that he was living in Paris. I bought a car. He said that he bought a car. I was walking along the street. He said he had been walking along the street. So the sentences are many. But just realize that we change the tense. And of course, we change modals. So let's say, for instance, the last sentence where I say, I might be late. He said he might be late. Like that, we use different kinds of modals while we are transforming direct to indirect. What are modals then? As I said, let's look at the list of some modals. Can becomes could in past tense. Will becomes would. Should also is should, and sometimes shall becomes should. Must becomes had to. May is a possibility which becomes might in past tense. Again, may as permission also becomes could. Shall, as I said, becomes should. And shall as something that is happening in future becomes would. For instance, he said, I shall visit my sister next week. Now that sentence will become, he said that he would visit his sister next week. Now, let us see what happens to pronouns. What are pronouns? Pronouns are names given to nouns. So instead of noun, when we use pronoun, he, she, you, we, me are all pronouns. They, it's all pronoun. So let us see what happens to pronouns. When it is direct speech, when I am reporting direct, I say I. But in reported speech, in indirect speech, that I becomes he or she. Anil is speaking and he says, I am so happy. But when I convert it, it becomes Anil said that he is very happy. We are a big team. Anil said that we are a big team. Anil said that they are a big team. So we becomes they. Likewise, you becomes he, she, they. Me becomes him or her. Us becomes them. You again becomes him, her. Mine becomes his or hers. Whose book is this? This is mine. She said that it is her book. Likewise, our is ours, their is theirs, yours. There's a range of things that changes when it comes to pronouns. Let us look at this wonderful picture. What does the first picture say? Well, it is giving us a possibility. There's a very big possibility that it just may rain today. So we can say it may rain today. But if I convert it to past tense, what does come out of it? He said it might rain. Well, now let us look at this sentence. What is happening there? This could be a possibility that it rains every day. For instance, say take a city like Bangalore. It rains every day there. So, it rains every day in Bangalore, said Anil. Now, even this simple present tense, rains, becomes past tense. Anil said that it rained every day in Bangalore. Let's come to this picture. This little boy is really enjoying rains. And he says it is raining. So now Anil says it is raining. Well, again in indirect speech it will become Anil said it was raining. And the action is now complete. It has rained heavily everywhere and there's a lot of waterlogging. And this lady is actually walking after it has rained. So what will it become? It had rained. The indirect will be it had rained. So what happened to all these sentences? Some basic rules. A present continuous becomes a past continuous. For instance, some action that is continuing in present tense will change to past continuous. For instance, he said, I am unwell. Now that becomes, he said that he was unwell. Let's look at something else. My master is writing letters. Now, if I have to convert it to indirect, it becomes, he said that his master was writing letters. Some more of these. A present perfect becomes a past perfect. For instance, he said, I have passed the examination. Now this becomes, he said that he had passed the examination. The shall of the future tense is changed to should. That is the rule now. Say, another thing is the simple past direct becomes past perfect in the indirect. For instance, he said, the horse died in the night. Now this sentence is a very commonly used kind of sentence. He said, the horse died in the night. But if I have to report this sentence in indirect, it becomes, he said that the horse had died in the night. Now just remember that the sentence here just got transformed to past perfect. But there are some exceptions to all these rules. Sometimes what happens is the person who is reporting, actually when the person who is reporting is being used in the indirect, the tense doesn't change to past tense. Let's look at this sentence. He said, I am not feeling well. Now this is in present continuous. But if I convert it to past, if I convert it to indirect, it doesn't become past. So the sentence remains, he said that he is not feeling well. Likewise, if there are pronouns like the person who is reporting and the person who is listening, if both are present, he said to me. So he is talking and I am listening. He said to me, I don't believe you. So both the pronouns will remain the same. He said he did not believe me. Simple. So friends, there are some rules, there are exceptions. The modals change, the tenses change. So many changes take place while we are using direct to indirect. But let's try and understand and practice so we never make a mistake. So let us just go through some sentences for the sake of practice. Can you just say it along with me? He said, I live in the city centre. He said he lived in the city centre. He said, I'm going out. He said he was going out. Of course, that here is missing, but that is also optional. He said that he was going out is the proper form. He said, I have finished. He said he had finished. He said, I've been studying a lot. He said he had been studying a lot. He said, I arrived before you. He said he had arrived before you. He said, I had already left. He said he had already left. He said, I'll be there at 2 p.m. He said he would be there at 2 p.m. He said, I'm going to call Alan. He said he was going to call Alan. Friends, based on all these examples, what we can do is we can frame our own direct sentences and try to convert them to indirect sentences. The conjunction that, as I said, can be used or may be missed out. That's all up to you. Try and understand. Direct and indirect is a very powerful weapon to convey things. Sometimes we can use what people say in direct speech, and many times we can just report what they say via indirect speech. Thank you.